Hey there, future homeowner. Are you kind of wondering if you want to build a house versus buying something resale, and you're wondering if that's the right move for you? Well, you are in the right place. We have you covered here in this video because I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of building here in Kansas City. And you'll want to stick around because I have some great news for you about maybe how to alleviate some of the cons of building a home from scratch. My name is Julie Spalding. I sell real estate here in the Kansas City market for Better Homes and Gardens, Kansas City Homes. All right, let's take a look at some of the advantages of building your own home. So I imagine you know what the main one is, and that is customization. Most people who want to build their own home want to do so because they want to be able to customize it and make it just how they want it, right? So if you want family to kind of come up to this gigantic island and be able to gather everyone in the kitchen, you want a house that fits those needs. Or maybe you want a huge deck or a covered deck, or maybe you want a fireplace on the deck, or maybe you want to make sure that the laundry room is exactly where you want it, right? Do you want it on the main level? Do you want it upstairs? You want to make sure that you have the tub that you want in the master bedroom, that you have all of those features that make it your home, that make it special for you, right? Everybody wants those special features. So that's one of the biggest benefits of building your own home, is you can pick all those out. I do want to tell you that sometimes you miss a few things. So if you're building, remember that there are times when you're going to think to yourself, why didn't I think about that while I was building? But customization is definitely right at the top of the list for people who want to build their own home. Another thing is that when you are building, everything's going to be new, right? So a lot of times you have lower cost or lower maintenance cost, which makes sense. You have a new roof, you have a new foundation, you have new appliances, and along with that new home, you also get a builder's 1-year warranty. Now, this doesn't cover if you happen to run something into the wall and make a hole, but it does cover if there's some things that it should have been taken care of when it was built, brand new, or maybe sometimes little cracks will appear and they can come in and take care of those. So it's small, minor things. But over the age of the home, you can actually kind of save some money here in this part, right? Because everything is new. Another way that you can actually save money when you are building a house is that putting in all kind of energy efficient different things into the house, whether it's the windows or the insulation or the HVAC system. So saving on those kind of energy efficient type things is another way that you're going to save money in the long run. And of course, there's that new home smell, right? Just like a new car smell. Who doesn't want to move into a home that nobody else has moved into, right? There are some big benefits to that. And one other thing that's pretty nice is that you get to have all the modern features and all of kind of the updated colors and all of those new trends that, are in during the time that you're building. I will caution you that you don't want to make everything trendy, because trends are trends, and trends actually seem to go in and out and cycle through different types of, whether it's gold or silver or gray colors or beige colors, they cycle and they change. Or wallpaper. Wallpaper is back. But I wouldn't do my whole house in wallpaper, right? If there's special trends or things that you think are fun, I would just put them in a few places and try to stay pretty neutral with some of the bigger areas in your home. That's my tip. So those are some of the pluses, some of the great things about being able to build your own home. And if you're buying something that's resale, you don't have those options, right? It's pretty much kind of a flip-flop when you're buying something that is already built. You don't get any of those customizations, and you don't have those fewer costs. So what about the cons? So one con, this is probably at the top of your list as well, is that actually costs more money to build a home. So the upfront costs are more expensive when you're building for a few reasons. One is because you are putting down a larger down payment that is non-refundable. Another thing is that there are site costs. So sometimes when you are building a home and there's nothing else built there. When they dig the foundation, there's sometimes where they come into rocks or they need to pier the basement. If you're getting a sidewalk in front of your house, the buyer is going to pay for that as well. The contracts that the builders use kind of have some different language in there, so they'll cover a little bit of that cost, but most of that is passed on to you as the buyer, and they are called site costs, and they are unpredictable if you're starting from scratch. Now, there are several homes out there that are in different levels of construction, so different completion time. So if the house that you're looking at already has a foundation and they already know what those site costs are going to be, so they're often already into the price of the house. Sometimes you'll see a price of a home start lower, like if a house is on for a long time and it's a resale house, you see sometimes the price coming down. That's not the case with new construction. As a house is built, the price of the home continues to rise and rise. So the earlier you get in, the better price you usually have on that house. So that is, the price can be a difference. Here in Kansas City, the average sales price for a resale home is $350,000. The average price of a new house built from scratch is $550,000. So you can see there's quite a difference between resale and purchasing new. Another disadvantage to building your own house can be time. Now, some people that doesn't bother them, right? They have enough time and it gives them time to save up some money and make some other changes in their life. But if you are starting to build a house from scratch, from the ground up, it's going to take about a year. And you need to have some cash on hand because you're going to have to go ahead and pay that down payment before the house is built. It's a non-refundable down payment, so a minimum you would plan on around 10%. And many times that increases over time, just depending on the builder. So again, a disadvantage is that could take a long time. There are, like I said, several houses that are in different levels of construction. So some homes are maybe only 45 days from being complete. Now, you're not going to be able to pick out all the items, maybe not be able to pick out the granite or to pick out some of those other items. However, you know that you can close in 45 days or 60 days. Some houses are more like 150 days out. That seems to be one of the ranges that we have. So 6 months from being complete. And then, of course, there are homes that are just started. They have the foundation, or maybe they have all the permits and they're ready to go. Those are going to be closer to a year, 9 months to a year to complete. So just depending on your time. So time could be a plus or a minus depending on your situation. Another thing that could possibly be a disadvantage is there's very little wiggle room for negotiating any type of price. Now, we're in a market right now where it's primarily a seller's market, so there's not a lot of negotiation as far as price right now anyway, in any market, right? But in new construction, pretty much the price is the price. At this point in time, they don't need to lower their prices. However, there is some good news because there are some homes and some subdivisions that built a little too fast maybe in 2022, and then the interest rates hit and the buyers went down, and so they have some extra houses. So there are some incentives out there if you're looking to build. There's some houses that are sitting there ready to go. And so that's some of the good news, is that maybe you don't have time, maybe you don't want to pick every single thing out. You just kind of want that new home. You want to be the first one in there. Well, believe it or not, I looked it up on MLS the other day, and we have 150 homes that are ready to go, ready to move in, never been lived in. So you do have to go out a little bit. I searched 25 miles from downtown, and there are 150 homes that are ready to go, move in ready, and you could close in 30 to 45 days. That's great news. Now, I also did a search just to see how many homes were out there in all the different levels of building, right? Well, there are about 1,500 as of, let's see, what is today? April. The beginning of April, there's about 1,500 homes within a 25-mile radius of downtown that are in all different types of stages of development, of building. So there are going to be some homes where you can select several items. There's going to be homes that are done in 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year. And so the good part about that is the things that maybe you don't like about building, you don't have to deal with. The time, and a lot of times if the home is almost done, you don't have to put near as much down. And there are times when that won't have to be a non-refundable earnest deposit. You'll buy it just like you do kind of a resale home. So if you're looking for new construction and you want to kind of bypass some of the difficult parts, then go ahead and look at some of these homes that have already been built, and it might just be a perfect fit for you. And remember, you deserve to love where you live.